The Denver Broncos added some serious talent to their roster in rounds 2 and 3 of the draft. And now, as we enter the third and final day, the Broncos have the opportunity to add even more talent onto the board. So, the Denver Broncos, after wheeling and dealing, trading down twice in the second round and then trading back up in the third round, ended up taking 3 players. At pick 60 in the second round, they ended up taking R.J. Harvey, the running back out of Central Florida. At pick 74 in the third round, they took Pat Bryant, the wide receiver out of Illinois. Then, at the back end of the third round, they came back up to pick 101 with the Jaguars, and they ended up taking Savion Jones, the defensive lineman out of LSU. And I am very happy to report, Broncos country, that there is even more talent that the Denver Broncos can add tomorrow. The Broncos have had a really good draft so far, contrary to what some fans on Facebook would want you to believe. They have added players at positions of need, and they have gotten better in terms of adding blue chip talent to their roster in the case of Jahdae Barron. Let's go ahead and take a look at who could be available for the Broncos tomorrow. But before we do that, guys, I do want to preview what Denver still has to work with in terms of draft capital. Right now, after all the trades that they made today, they sit with pick 134 in the 4th round and pick 197 in the 6th round. Those are only 2 picks. I would imagine that Denver wants more darts that they could throw at the board. The more darts that you have, the better chance that you have at hitting. So, I would imagine that George Paton is going to try to trade down from pick 134 to pick up some extra draft capital. Maybe try to pick up a couple of 5th round picks or another 6th round pick. Just try to get some more darts that you can throw at the board. I don't think that they're content with just having 2 picks right now, so I would anticipate some more wheeling and dealing from the Paytons before it's all said and done. As far as players that the Denver Broncos could be interested in tomorrow, these are just some of my favorite players that are still left on the board that could make sense for the Broncos. And even though the Broncos got a running back today in R.J. Harvey, I still believe that they could be looking to add one more piece to that room. So these are some of the running backs that I really like. Damian Martinez, DJ Giddens, Bashal Tootin. I really like Devin Neal. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt has been one of my draft crushes since the beginning of the process. Ollie Gordon, Marcus Yarns, Jadon Blue, LaQuaint Allen, Brashard Smith, and there are many others, guys. Again, this is one of the most loaded running back classes that we have seen in a long time, and there are some really good running backs that are still available as we enter day 3. Tight end, inline tight end is where I think Denver is also going to address in day 3. I think that they really need somebody who can line up in line. Evan Ingram's more of a big slot guy. I've given that spiel multiple times here on the channel, but the Broncos need a true Y tight end, and some of the guys who are still available. Gunnar Helm. Not only is Helm a Denver native, but he was also coached by the voice of the Broncos, Dave Logan at Cherry Creek. I feel like Helm would be an excellent fit in this offense. Bring him home. Jackson Hawes is probably the best pure blocking tight end in this class. Granted, he's not going to offer much in the receiving game, but as a blocker, he is absolutely awesome. Luke Lachey out of Tight End U, Iowa. I mean, come on, it's an Iowa tight end. What more do I have to say there? And then Thomas Fidone out of Nebraska is another guy that I like. I wouldn't be able to go back on the 5280 podcast where I'm a co-host every Tuesday without shouting out Thomas Fidone, or my co-host Cam Parker would have killed me. If the Broncos do want to go offensive line, there are some really good players that are going to be available tomorrow, and I do think Denver will add an offensive lineman at some point. At tackle, you've got Holland Pierce. He was a star at the Shrine Bowl. Chase Lunt, Carson Vincent. Then you've got Miles Frazier at guard and Marcus Imbo at center. I'm surprised that Imbo is still on the board, actually, so that could be an excellent value pick for the Broncos in the 4th round if he lasts that far. Edge rusher, I don't think Denver's going to add an edge rusher, but if they do, Braden Swinson is definitely a guy that I like. Interior defensive line, yes, they just added an interior defensive lineman in Savion Jones, but if they want a nose tackle, which they have not addressed yet, Deion Walker, Jordan Phillips, CJ West are some of the names that I really like there. Or if they want to go with another defensive end as a backup to John Franklin Myers and Zach Allen alongside Savion Jones, you've got guys like Josh Farmer still on the board, Aeneas Peebles, Ty Robinson. And then if you want to go linebacker, there's a couple of all-pro potential players on the board in Jeff Bossa and Danny Stutzman. Corner, I know that Denver probably isn't going to go corner, but Kobe Bryant is one of my favorite corners that's still left, and he'd be an excellent scheme fit for Vance Joseph and company. He's a pure man coverage corner. I think he is awesome. Zoff Frazier is another one, and then Hunter Wohler, the safety out of Wisconsin, is a guy to keep an eye on for the Broncos because of his connections with Jim Leonhard. So the Denver Broncos have a lot of different options that they could go at some point tomorrow, depending on if they were to trade down from round 4. Especially, they could add more than one of these players, and I think that there's still a lot of talent available for the Denver Broncos to add. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, out of all of these names, who would you like to see in the orange and blue? And if there's somebody I missed, let me know in the comment section below as well. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well, subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.